Koan number 40, F. So this is very simply a play on, not words exactly, but a play on terms. It's like computer literacy meets photographic literacy. It's a play on the fact that in the context of a computer, F4, F5, F6 means the function keys at the top of your keyboard. And in the context of photography, F4 refers to the f-stop, meaning how wide is the aperture of the camera. The more open the aperture is, the more light comes in, and the brighter the photograph. So I photographed each individual function key on my keyboard at the closest f-stop there was to that key on the camera that I was using. So like my camera didn't go below f3.5. So all those are 3.5, and then up to f13 was the closest thing to f12. Koan number 41, Flag. I really like this Koan, and this is another one that if you haven't watched it before, you should. There's kind of a reveal, so you should definitely watch it first and then come back to the commentary. It's just like a minute and a half video. So let's wait for them to watch it, and then we'll talk about it. All right. So Flag. This is kind of like my Jasper Johns homage. One day, I walked up closely to one of these like roadside signs that light up, and realized that what from far away looks like just like a digital image. When you go up close, you actually see each individual red, green, and blue LED, which I thought was so cool because it's like, I mean, obviously that's what every screen is. It's just a series of RGB pixels, but this was like a magnification of that, right? Like, it's literally just like an LED that's big enough to see with your naked eye. So it's like enormous pixels, basically. And then this particular sign, this is on the highway somewhere, I think east of Carbondale, and and there's the big reveal at the end. I noticed driving by that it had this, huge picture of the American flag, and I just thought, wouldn't it be great to kind of like Jasper John's flag, was made up of when you go up and look closely at the Jasper John's flag painting, you can see that it's made up of stuff that you can only see when you go close up. So that's just kind of a reference there, and as a metaphor, I like the idea of inspecting things closely, more closely than you normally would, and seeing what's kind of really behind what you're looking at. Koan number 42, Driveway Pop. Good old Driveway Pop. This Koan was kind of disliked by my committee, or at least one of my committee members. I was repeatedly told that it was too much like a YouTube video, which I don't quite understand that critique, but I guess there's an association there with YouTube videos being like just kind of stupid stunts. Whatever. This is it's fun. It's playful. Oh, there's the Dodge Intrepid that I wrote about in Koan number 32. This wasn't staged. It was like I actually saw this. It's what it is those plastic air-filled packing bubbles, and it was sitting there in the driveway, and I think maybe the problem is that at the beginning of the video you see me actually moving it into place, but that was just I was moving it back to where it originally was when I saw it. The wind blew it away like right before I was about to run it over. But yeah, just like one day I was driving home and I saw this strip of air bubble packing stuff in the neighbor's driveway and thought, I want to run that over. And so I did. So it was, just like spur of the moment, improvisatory, playful thing. And I am quite happy with that. Thank you very much. And I think it's really funny that it like blows away again when I back up. By the way, that was Sylvia doing the recording there. You tell me, or you hear me at the end there saying okay to tell her to stop recording. I kind of just like threw my phone at her and said, quick, start recording. So that's Koan number 42. Do you want to say something? That's the microphone, you nut. Koan number 43, Sandal, Locomotion. What? Sandals do not locomotate. I know, that's crazy. Sandal Locomotion, this is another example of a koan where I explicitly give instructions, and the documentation you see here is just my execution of those instructions. So you could do this on your own. I did it with this sandal, this lone sandal that was just in the middle of a parking lot. And every time I passed by it, I photographed it, and its position changed over time. And so, it's like a story. It's, I think naturally just create a sequence between the images and try to imagine or picture what caused that sandal to move. Like how did it go from beside this car tire to like actually under the truck, and then finally it's gone. So it's like, where did it go? Did somebody take it? The times here also kind of document it's a couple hour time span between each one. These were times that I was walking to and from the music building, going to rehearsal for the percussion group for a John Cage concert. So these were rehearsals leading up to the concert. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then that weekend was the weekend of the concert, which I think was in Chicago. And then, so by the time we got back into town on Sunday, the Sandal was gone. And the title here, Sandal Locomotion, is in fact a reference to Vegetable Locomotion, a series of photographs by Hollis Frampton and his wife, the photographer Marion Fowler. Hollis Frampton being one of those structural filmmakers that I keep talking about that I'm very influenced by. And, you know, these photos, this series of photos, Vegetable Locomotion, is, you know, a reference to the Edward Muybridge series of photographs of, you know, various people and animals in locomotion. Hollis Frampton was, he wrote a, he wrote a essay on Edward Muybridge, and so anyways, okay, this carrot ejaculating has got me off track here. Anyways, Hollis Frampton, Sandal Locomotion, Vegetable Locomotion. There you go. Koan number 44. Koan number 2. This is the second of 2 Koans. So this Koan is based on Joshu's dog. This is a very famous Koan. A monk asked Joshu, "Has a dog Buddha nature or not?" Oh, Henry. Oh, Henry. Does a dog have Buddha nature? And Joshu answered, "Moo." M-U, moo. That's a word that means it's kind of no. It kind of means no, but not exactly. I've read it described as Joshu's response there is more along the lines of something like unask the question. It's kind of a no, like a null, like in computing, you know, there's like binary on or off, one or zero, and moo is like just turn the computer off, like kind of a third option of neither yes nor no, but kind of no. Henry. We're gonna go on a walk soon, Dodo. You gonna help me? Ooh. Let's talk about this Koan. People are waiting to hear about this Koan. Not really, but let's just pretend. Koan number 2. So, this is our dog, Argus, who has made some appearances in other Koans, just kind of in the background. He actually appears in several Koans. I think I had the idea at one point that I would do like all these different things with Argus, and he would kind of be like the Man Ray to my William Wegman. But this is the one he features most prominently in, and
do you have Buddha nature?
It's kind of a Namjoon Pike reference in here, you know, Buddha watching himself on TV. I think this there's a couple like kind of mind fucks in here. You have Argus watching himself in the video within a video. It's not exactly clear like which video is the source of the audio of my voice, and there's some good moments. It has a really good arc, I think, and like I said, some kind of like whoa moments, like when he just happened to get up and walk at the same time that he did that in the video within the video. And then right here the video freezes, and then you see the other artists still walking around there in the background. And I find something particularly poignant about that moment when the one video freezes and then you see the other artists walking around. I can't quite explain that, but oh, hey. That was Mom. She interrupted us. That's okay. That's pretty much all I had to say about that Koan. So, language is a funny thing because we can have two objects that are exactly the same, and we can call one of them one of that thing, and we can call the other one five of that thing, and give them different values. And so we have Koan number 45, 1 and 5, and 5 and 25, 6 and 30. So this group of Koans has a lot of references to other artists and a lot of wordplay. And Koan number 46, Feathers and Nails, is both of those things. This is probably one of my most well-known Koans. This and Koan number 52, I think, have been shown the most, and it kind of it seems to stick out to most people. So I'm going to talk about the original inspiration for the Koan, but this Koan definitely kind of has a life of its own outside of its inspiration. So I encourage you to watch it and enjoy it, and if you feel like it, to come up with maybe your own interpretation of it, or just enjoy it because it's a fun Koan. But just look at it, think about it, and then come back if you want to hear the origin story. Okay, so Feathers and Nails is a video consisting of me spitting feathers and nails out of my mouth. And I'm holding up my hands in a certain way, and this is very obviously a reference to Bruce Naumann's self-portrait as a fountain. If you can see it there behind my camera. So there's Bruce Naumann. I've talked about him before. The very first Koan references Bruce Naumann. This is a complicated web of references we're about to delve into, so hold on to your butts. So Bruce Naumann's self-portrait as a fountain is itself somewhat of a reference to, in title at least, it's a reference to Marcel Duchamp's Fountain, and it is also a play on words, as explained in this little text blurb here from the Whitney Museum website. So my Koan, Feathers and Nails, Bruce Nauman reference, and then the title Feathers and Nails is a play on the phrase spitting feathers and spitting nails. Around the time that I was making this Koans, Sylvia got me a book of origins of phrases, and I saw in that book the phrase spitting feathers, and the spitting nails means the same thing. They both mean angry. Like, he's so angry he was spitting feathers, or she was so angry she was spitting nails. And I was fascinated by the idea that, like, these two phrases mean the same thing, but they have, like, almost opposing materials, right? Feathers and nails are just opposite of each other in a lot of ways. So I wanted to make a play on that and just shove all these feathers and nails in my mouth and spit them out. So I'm literally spitting feathers and nails, much like Bruce Nauman was doing a literal interpretation of a phrase. Another layer on this is that the spitting feathers meaning angry is a relatively newer interpretation of that phrase, and the original meaning was thirsty. I'm so thirsty, I'm spitting feathers. So you could take this to mean that I am both thirsty and angry. And if you want to get really deep into this here, to tie that into the Bruce Nauman reference, you could say that I am thirsty to create art and make a name for myself and just express myself in new ways. But angry in quotes, not really angry, but angry, that it's very hard to do that, and it's hard to kind of being as influenced as I am by American avant-garde of the mid 20th century. It's very hard to get out from under the shadow of people like Bruce Nauman. I love you, Bruce Nauman. It's Koan number 47, Meditation on the Holy Mystery of the Road CD, Part 4. I mean, I've already talked about this like 3 times, so I don't know how much I have to add with this one. The 5th one is a little different, so you have that to look forward to. I'll have more to say about Part 5, I think. For this one, I don't quite remember what I've already said about the Road CD, but I mean, essentially, I'm purposely coming up with ideas to put holes in the CD that I know won't work or aren't the right way to do it. And so again, in this one, similarly to the last one, I think, where I drilled the holes, like, I succeed in making holes, but it's obviously not the way that those holes were actually made. So I think hopefully it like leaves the viewer wondering, one, how did the holes actually get there, and two, what kind of things would they try to test this and to actually make the holes. It's a science experiment, basically. Koan number 48, the Watercourse way, stay on task.
I made this gesture when I told him that I was trying to stay on task, but I should have made this gesture.
So what I'm referencing there is a conversation I had with somebody just kind of passing in the hallway. Oh, how's your thesis going? And I replied, just trying to stay on task. And realizing that was not actually what I was doing, at least not in that kind of rigid manner. The Watercourse way, that's the title of a book on Taoism by Alan Watts. And in Taoism, there's this concept called Wu Wei, which kind of translates to non-action. And water always gets to its destination, right? It always finds a way to flow, but it obeys the things around it. It passes, around rocks and follows curves, and it gets where it's going by both acting and not acting. So sometimes, especially when you're making art, the right path for you is not necessarily like staying on task. It's more about letting yourself go on this path that is being influenced by everything around you, and knowing that you're gonna get there. And so this concept is very important to me, to the extent that when Sylvia and I got married, my friend Jackie married us, and she asked what kind of spiritual things we wanted to include in the ceremony. And the one request I made was that I wanted her to kind of make references to Taoism and water. So 108 Koans as a whole was very much this exercise in me trying to maintain this state of mind of Wu Wei, not actively pursuing art making, but just letting it brush past me on my journey. And finally this week, it's Koan number 49, Aurora. This is a charming little Koan. It's one of my favorite underrated Koans. It's not really underrated because nobody's rating these. Nobody cares about 108 Koans, but it's one that I've never heard anyone that's actually looked at all of this say, oh yeah, Koan number 49 Aurora was really great. but I feel like it's really great. I don't know how easy it is for someone to see this and tell what's going on, because obviously I know what's going on here, but I'm not sure how clear it is without an explanation. So basically, you see here, that's me in the mirror holding my cell phone camera up. I'm in the car. I'm just sitting in my car in the parking lot. And my visor has these two lights on either side that turn on when you open the visor. So this is basically just me sitting in my car in the parking lot at night, messing around with my phone and playing with this little kind of halo of light that appears in the top of the frame when I open the visor to turn the light on. And I don't know, maybe it's clear that the title Aurora is, it's like I'm creating these kind of Aurora like lights at the top of the frame, and that the source of them is kind of mysterious until I kind of draw the curtain back and show, oh, it's just a freaking car visor, and you see my reflection in the mirror. So there's like this element of reflexivity, of showing the making of the thing. I think I felt really good about it in the moment of making it. Like, if I was like just kind of messing around, improvising with turning the lights on and off, and other people watching it might not get that much out of it, but I hope that, like, if anything, it can demonstrate that, like, hey, if you're sitting in your car, like, it's cool to, like, mess around with the lights and, like, record something and just, like, make some little thing that is fun for you and that you feel good about. And it doesn't matter if it's anything or not, because it's something to you. So play is good, and you should do it, and you should incorporate it into your daily life.